everybody. Welcome back to another, should have been Saturday night, but Sunday night Facebook Live. I'm so happy that you joined, and I hope that you're having a great weekend. Well, tonight I told you all we were going to do something special. And yes, I'm also going to talk about the giveaway, but we'll save that for later. I did want to do kind of a fun card to wrap up 2019. And going through YouTube, I stumbled across a Teepee card. Some of you may have seen these, but it just intrigued me how it's made. And while it looks a bit complicated, it's actually easier than you would think. And you might also wonder, well, this is great, but how the heck am I going to mail it? Well, I have a little Velcro dot here. And if I open this up and then I do that, this will fit exactly in our standard envelopes. So yes, Virginia, you can mail these. And then the recipient, it's pretty intuitive for them to know the the Velcro dots go together. So very easy for them to put up. And the other reason I like it is because you can do it all in designer series paper and just put a sentiment on it, or you can do 1, 2, or even all 3 of the panels stamped with various designs. And there's still enough places to put designer series paper. I like to finish off these pointed areas. You certainly could leave them just the color of the cardstock. But I thought since I was doing the designer series paper on one of the panels that I just carry it through. All right, so I'm excited. Let me show you how easy it's going to be to do this. First, though, I have my granddaughters, Maggie and Eden, and my sister-in-law, Joanne. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
So they're joining me tonight, and we're just having a good old time. So let me type something in the comments so I can start seeing yours, and we'll get started. Now, I've chosen our Painted Poppies designer series paper, and if you haven't seen it, it is gorgeous, and it has wonderful colors on it. So because I chose the rich razzleberry, and if I turn it over you can see, are those not gorgeous poppies? Yeah, I was tempted, but nope, I decided to use the polka dot side. And the polka dots are actually rich razzleberry or Blackberry Bliss. You could use either color. So I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss. As far as supplies for this, it's going to be super simple. You will need 3 pieces of cardstock that measure 4 inches square. You will need however many pieces of designer series paper that are going to measure, let me make sure of this, they are going to measure 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Now, when I say you can use however many, remember, I only decorated one of the panels with designer series paper. I used Whisper White so I could do some stamping for the others. And I'm going to continue with this one. And because of that, I did one 4x4. I'm sorry, not 4x4. 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 piece of Whisper White. And then I cut it in half on the diagonal, and that's what we will use to stamp with. So we're going to have some fun with that. All right, let me put my inks away here. We'll come back to those because we have a little bit of scoring to do. And for that, I'm going to bring out our new trimmer, because you can use the trimmer not only to cut paper, but to score as well. And we're going to need to score all 4 pieces. And we're going to score them at the same place. Now, instead of this way, we need to be on the diagonal. And that's easy because I have my trimmer track here, my cutting track. I can simply line up the points on that. And then I'm going to close my handle there. And you certainly could use the gray scoring blade. I tend to like using my bone folder. It gives a little bit deeper score, which is great when you're using this cardstock. So I'll give it 2 or 3, and then I'll bring this up. So hopefully you can see my nice score line. We're going to do that for all 4 pieces, our 3 pieces of cardstock and our designer series paper. Make sure those points are lined up and give it a good score. And I am holding the paper down with my left hand as well, so it doesn't squiggle away. One more of our cardstock. Give it a good score. Now my designer series paper is much thinner, so I'm going to be a little more delicate, but I still want to line those points up, and I'll just run it along once. And that looks good to me. Now I pre-cut my Whisper White, but remember I said you would need the 3 3/4 square. I did the same thing. I just did the points, and instead of scoring though, I cut it using the trimmer plate. And that's all we need our trimmer for, so we'll put that away. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so that you are going to be able to see. So I hope I don't make you dizzy doing this, because my webcam goes a little crazy. That should be good right there. Hello, Sonia. How are you? How's Montreal? We've been getting quite a bit of stormy weather down here, but luckily in Georgia, it's been mostly rain. I'll bet you've had snow by now. All right, so how the heck are we going to put this together? I'm going to put the DSP and the white, Whisper White pieces to one side, and I'll show you how we're going to do this. First, I want to fold and give a good burnish to the cardstock that I scored on the diagonal, because we will need that. All right, and I'll bring this back in just so you can kind of see the mechanics of it. When I open this up, you'll notice we start with one of the pieces on the diagonal. It doesn't matter which one, it can be any of these. And to that, we're then going to take these, and what we want to do, and this is what's important, our score lines become important. So we got that one. This one, we want to absolutely line it up with that point and make sure it's lined up on this scored line. And that's where we're going to glue it down. I'm going to use liquid glue just because it takes a little bit longer to dry. So if I get it crooked, I've got time to straighten it out. All right, so we've got, hello, Linda. Which way did I do it? I'm going to do this one. And actually, I'm going to flip it over because to me, I find it's just easier that way. All right, so remember, if I bring this in here, we've got this on the up and up. So this is going to directly mirror right there, that top point, and I'm going to bring it down like that. And I actually didn't need to put that glue on the bottom, so let me wipe it away. It's not going to make a big difference, but so we've got our first piece on, okay? And we've got the start of our teepee. So now we'll take our next one, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. Remember, this is our original diagonal piece. So we're going to want to take this and line it up there. So we've got our top point, and I know on the dark cardstock it's a little hard to see, but let me just make sure that I can do this. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do it, instead of doing it on this piece and turning it over, I'm just going to do it right here. I can use my line there, and that way I know exactly where I need the glue. And then we'll just line this up. And I still managed to get some glue where I didn't want it, but no problem. We'll just wipe that away. Okay, so there is the basic bones of our card. So it will come and fold like this, and there's our teepee, just like that. All right, I'm not going to put the Velcro dot on yet because we want to do some decorating and some stamping. So I know that one of my panels is going to be my designer series paper, and that's this panel here. So I'll put the two pieces of Whisper White will be on this side and this side. And those are our panels. Now, I'm going to not talk about the designer series paper for a minute because there's something really important. If I were to leave this like this and pull my stamps out and start stamping and we fold it up, into the Teepee like this, guess what? Everything would be wonky. It would all be sideways. So the one thing you do need to be careful of is that when you're stamping, you have the right orientation for your Whisper White. And for me, the easiest way is going to be, wrong piece, as I pull this together. Come on, Linda. Oh, that goes there. Yep, this goes here. The easiest way for me to do this was, I know as a teepee, all right, it needs to, here are my 2 points at the bottom, okay? That's what it's going to stand on. So if you imagine a vertical line here, we're going to be stamping. So let me just kind of draw with a pencil because I can erase that. But we want to make sure that we're following this line. No matter if we're up here or down here, even though we're going to have a longer piece here, we want to be above that line. And the same on this piece. So we still have our 2 points at the bottom. So that's our guideline. And if I draw a line, that is the orientation. Okay? All right. Thank you for sharing, Sonia. That was so sweet of you. So now that I've got that worked out, and let me just make sure this is, yep, upright. And this one, okay, that's upright. Got to make sure. I'm going to put that one aside. So our stamping needs to be, I think you can see that, even though your eye wants to keep coming down and do this, we really need to be careful that we know where our line is. And that's why I did the pencil line. All right, so let's do some stamping. You want it? It'll be fun. I've got the Painted Poppies stamp set out. And with the 2 panels, that gives me more options. But I know I want to use the poppy field, I'm going to call it, the group of poppies. So that's going to be one of them. And let's see if I have a block big enough for this. Otherwise, we might bring out the stamper at us. Nope, I think we'll be okay with this. So I'll put that down. And I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss, Old Olive, and Smoky Slate as my color trio for this. All right, so we'll ink this up. And if you're ever not sure if something is inking up well, I just do a test run, and that looks really good to me. So tap, tap, tap on my ink. And keeping in mind my vertical line, I'm going to decide, do I want more poppies up here or do I want down here so that I then can do further embellishment here? And I want my poppies to be right about here. So there we have our poppies going across. Now I can erase that line. And, oops, my glue wasn't quite dry, but there you go. Okay, so I'm then going to bring out my blends. Yep, you know me. I love to color with the blends. And I am using, even though this is Blackberry Bliss for our card base and our ink, I pulled out the light rich Razzleberry and the dark rich Razzleberry to use for colors because remember, our DSP has both of those colors in it. Hey, Roz. Hi, how you doing? Finished dinner with the grandkids. Oh, thanks for joining. Okay, so this is, we're not going to get fancy with this at all. I'm going to take out the light, make sure it's light. Yep, my light rich Razzleberry. And most of the detail is already in the stamp. I'm just going to give it a quick coloring. If I go a little bit outside the lines, that's fine. And you know what? There's actually some splodgy things that you can use on the background as well. We'll see if we're going to use those or not. I just want to quickly scrub in some color. And you'll notice I even have some white areas. Not bother me. I want this to look very loose, almost watercolored. So just go in and fill them up. If I wanted to come in and do any shading, and I might do a couple, I'll use the dark rich Razzleberry for it. But you know, see, it's already got areas that are darker for you. So I really don't see the need to do much of that. We're going to stick mostly with our light rich razzleberry. Here we go. I just love this. And this doesn't have really any leaves on it, but the next stamp set I use, or the next stamp that I use will. So we will be using our old olive. All right, so we've got that. I think that looks pretty cool. We've got a little bit of area here, and then we've got, I'll call it our sky area. Well, for the little bit down here, there's nothing that says that I can't take that stamp and use it over again, because poppies don't always live in a straight line. So I've inked up, and I'll just push this up so you can see, and I'll put a few more poppies there. So fill up those corners just by using the edge of your stamp. And I'll just color these in. Conversely, I could have maybe made a grassy area down there with a different stamp, but I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. Okay, for our top part, we need something there, right? Well, we have to have our sentiment, so that's a great place for our sentiment. And I'm going to use the Beauty and Joy, which is, I think, part of the holiday catalog, but I really love this May Your Day Bloom with Beauty and Joy. And so we'll just pull that out. And do I want to stamp it in Smoky Slate, or do I want to use the old olive here? Anybody have a preference? Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to use the Smoky Slate for the sentiment. We'll sneak in some of the old olive here in a minute. We'll pull in another stamp. Again, I just want to make sure that I've got enough ink on it. Yep, that looks good. So we'll pull this, keeping our points. And let me just move this so you can see. So I've got my point up there, making sure that it's as straight as it can be. And pardon me if my head gets in the way. I'm just going to tap it down there. All right. So we've got our first sentiment. But we still need a little bit more color. And I want to use my old olive. So I'm thinking we could add a butterfly. Yeah? Butterflies and poppies go together. So we'll bring in a butterfly. And because I don't have a whole lot of room, it's going to be a small butterfly, but I'm thinking I like this one right here. And let me show you why. Get out my little block, and we'll break out the old olive. Oops. Hello, Linda. Make sure your block is facing the right way before you take it to the ink pad. And let's see, do I want it full strength or stamped off? I'm thinking full strength because that rich razzleberry is kind of a darker color. So I'm just going to angle my butterfly to fly off the page there. We'll have him coming in the page there. Well, that wasn't very good, Linda. All right, just like that. And I'm going to do one more butterfly because you know me, I like threes. So let's do, I think I can sneak it in there. Yeah, just like that. All right, so with that, we have our first panel done. Easy breezy. Now we can work on our second panel, which is, where did I put it? Oh, there it is, hiding. And make sure I have it going the right way. So you always want to double check, like kind of carpenters do, measure twice, cut once. So I know that's going that way. So my orientation is this way. So my line is going correctly. So we'll bring that up here. And there's my line going across. I know it's pretty faint, but I did that so it would be easy to erase. I'm not going to use the same stamp, but we've got lots to choose from in here. I could do the larger one, which is pretty, or I could do just kind of that pretty single one. Let's see. I think what I want to do is look at a sentiment to see how much room I'll have on the page. And for that, I went to Floral Essence because I love All Days Are Beautiful That Begin With You. So let's do that one. Hey, Jean. How are you? Yeah, the umbrella is so cute. I couldn't wait to play with it. And the Teepee card just was perfect for that. All right. Put that up there so I don't lose it. And bring out another block. Okay, I'm sticking with my same colors, remember? The Old Olive, Smoky Slate, and the Blackberry Bliss. And my flower, if I choose this one, there is a leaf. So that would be really nice. And I have other leaves I can use. If I use this one, though, I could use these leaves. But you know what? If I use this one, there's an awful lot of space down here that I would need. However, if I use that one, and you know, I'm just going to pull it out because I can't tell until I lay them down. So if we use this one, there's really not a lot of space for our sentiment. I guess I could do it there, but it still kind of crowds it. I could bring this way down, but then I lose most of my picture I want. So I'm not going to go with that one. We'll save that for another day because I have an idea. I'm going to pull both of these out just for giggles and grins. So I want, and my sentiment won't fit all the way at the top, so I'm going to need my sentiment to be either here, or conversely, I could do it right about there. And there's nothing that says your sentiment has to be at the top. So if I did that, I could use both of these big flowers. And I could sneak some leaves in. I think I like that. All right. So back to the Smoky Slate. I tell you, you just never know what I'm going to do. Again, I'm just going to stamp it. Yep, it's inked up well. Make sure my lines go in the right way. Although I hardly ever get my sentiment on straight anyway. And down we go. Okay, really liking that. Now let's have some fun. I'll put it over there with our flowers. So we're definitely going to use our our Blackberry Bliss for this. And I'm not going to worry about trying to get the whole flower in there because that leaves a lot of white space all the way around. There's nothing that says you can't have your flower go part way off the page. And I can do the same with this one. Again, with my Blackberry Bliss. And I think we'll pull this one in right here. Okay, so that's looking good. And yes, I'm going to color them in. But we need some leaves. So let me get some leaves going here. Try not to lose stamps as I pull them off. And we've got two different types of leaves. So we've got this one and we've got that one. And I really like this one, okay? But there's also something else I wanted you to see. I wanted to show you. Not that one, this one. Because we're using the big poppy, I must not have pulled this one out yet. There is I call them a shadow stamp that you can use. And so if I didn't want to color that in, I could simply ink up and I would probably stamp off and then I could fill in that flower. And I'm thinking though, I really want the color to be lighter. So instead of that, I am going to color it in. But let's go ahead and drop in some leaves where we can. And we also have a little splatter stamp we can use. So I'm thinking we need a leaf that goes, where can I put this leaf? Let's have a leaf come in right about there. I like that. And then I have a leaf right there. Definitely want one down here, and that will fill in some of that white space. So I think that's good for the leaves. Let's color this in real quick with the blends, and then we'll see if we need to add that little splatter. And once we do that, we're ready to put everything together. So starting with my light rich razzleberry. Now this one I'll be able to do some shading on. So I'll only do a couple of petals at a time. And again, I'm not really worried about leaving a little bit of white space. I think that just makes it look more watercolored. And while I'm here, I'm just going to draw in the little stamen pieces that you get, just to give it a little more dimension. Just scrub them in there. And now I know I have a shadow here, so I'll put that in and then scrub around it to blend it out. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to use my light to quickly fill it in. Being a little sloppy. This petal overlaps, so again, that's where my shadow is going to be. And if you do this, it can really add some pretty dimension to your card. All right, a couple more petals here. Now this one's a little different because yes, we have a shadow here that we want to take care of, but we also have a lip where the flower is curling over, and I'm going to shade that a little bit below, and then we've got a shadow on this side. So this petal's really going to stand out well, I think. Okay, and then our last one for this, just lay it in, and here the only shadow I'm really going to have is underneath that lip. And just pull that out. Okay, so we've got our first one done. I'm going to do the second one just like that, but I'm going to speed up a little bit because you know me, I could sit here and talk to you guys about using blends for coloring all day, but I'm sure that we all have other things to do before we say goodnight and get ready for work tomorrow or get ready for babysitting, whatever we're going to be doing. And so we'll get through this pretty quickly. Oops, forgot my lip there and there. And then I'm just going to quickly lay in my shadows. Are going to be here and right there. And I bled over a little bit, but that's okay. Remember, we have our magic eraser that we can use to push that ink back. Can't forget my stamens here. So draw those out. If you've never seen how to push that ink back, this is your, what's the official name? Color lifter. And what will happen is it's not going to actually take the color off the page. What it will do is push it back. So by doing this, it's going to force that ink to flow back a bit. So I'll do that and may have to come back and give it a touch up. But I think for right now, that's it. So let's color our leaves. How are we doing on time? Oh, not even 30 minutes yet. So that's not too bad. You know me, I love to jibber jabber. All right, our light old olive and dark old olive for our leaves. And again, I'm just going to loosely scrub these in. And the only thing I'm going to use the dark old olive on is the veins of the leaf. So I'll just give them a little bit more definition and then blend them out. I love it when you blend it out and that color just feathers away. All right, just a couple more and I'll do both of these real fast because I do think I want to use that little splatter thingamabobby. Who doesn't love to splatter? Okie doke. So we've got that. Okay. Now, whereas with my other panel, I could carry the poppies down here, and I added some butterflies here. We could leave all this white space if we wanted to. I mean, it looks pretty. So if you're kind of a minimalist person, you'd probably want to leave it that way. But there's a stamp on here that I've been dying to try. So let me just bring it out. If I can ever get my stamp back in the right place. Well, I'll worry about that later. So we've got actually two splatters. We have this big one here and this little one here. I'm interested in the little guy, and I have not used him yet, so I don't even have the sticker on it. Luckily, with this splatter, it doesn't really matter. Okay, now we could certainly do it in the gray, but yeah, we got enough gray in there. So I'm going to go, I think, with the rich razzleberry. Let me see what that looks like. Yep, I'm liking that. So we can just add a little bit of color wherever we want it, just to kind of fill in some of those gaps. And I'm not even going to worry about overrunning things. So if it gets on other parts and covers them up, it really doesn't matter. So I'm liking that, and I think we'll stop right there. But just that little bit of stamping can really add, oof, that's hard to close, can really add some dimension. All right, let me clear all my stamps out of the way, and let's get to putting stuff together. So my blends I should be done with. Get up there, you. I know. They never go where I want them to. And I'm going to get rid of this because, yeah, you don't want to be confused by all of that. So we'll save that. And start with a clean slate. Oh, you know what, hon? Can you bring me the Velcro? It's over there in the basket. Yes, thank you very much. It's nice to have a helpful assistant, right? Hello, Amy. I'm so glad you popped on. Hi, Betty. I know, you thought 7:30. I had everybody confused, and I'm so sorry. Okay, I just want to get my Velcro ready, and I bought mine off Amazon. I think I got these two big rolls, and so they come in what I call the positives and negatives, the fuzzies and the non-fuzzy. I'm just going to go ahead and stick mine together right now. So I want, hello Linda, that side. So the adhesive side will always be on the outside. So I've got that ready. And let me bring in our designer series paper, which I still need to cut, right? And remember, our teepee is going to go together like this. So we can start putting our panels on. That's our next step. And see how it looks all a kilter? And that's the reason why I made that line. So I would know that when I close this teepee, it's going to look straight. Well, as straight as Linda can be. You know how hard that is for me sometimes. And you should have just a bit of a border, since it's cut 1/4 of an inch smaller than our cardstock. So we've got that one. Oh, I really love this panel. All right. So I'm just going to apply glue, and you want to make sure you get those points because we don't want them popping off as much opening and closing as this may see. All right. So again, we should have a little bit gap right there. Okay. Now, so this is going to close up like this. I want my designer series paper on this panel. So we are going to take and trim. I didn't even have to score this. I could have just trimmed it. Would have been fine. So let's do that real fast. And I know it looks like we're only going to use half of it, but wait a minute, because I have a little trick to show you. I have a little trick. You know me, I'm full of them. Okay, so we decided this, let's just do this one more time. This part is going to be our panel that we put the DSP on. So it's going to go just like that. Oh, look at how beautiful that. Ooh, no, 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 don't do that, Linda. Don't change your mind. Yes, this has Blackberry Bliss on it too, but it's too bright for the stamps we used. All right. This is cool. Now, you can certainly leave these points as just cardstock, and it looks beautiful. Or you can choose to cover that with your designer series paper. And I think that's what I want to do. So, and this is not going to be very scientific, because all I'm going to do is mark on here where I need to cut. So, roughly right there. Yep, I said it. I'm going to do it. And that will fit. Oh, look at that. Just perfectly. So let's glue that down. Just like that. All right. And then I want to do the same, I think, for this one. We have all kinds of points we can use. So again, I'm just going to mark roughly where I want this, like that. You could get out the measuring ruler and do this all that way. But I'm okay if it's not exactly right. So I think I want to cut that point down just a tad right there. So I got a little bit cheeky with the pencil there. So we'll just trim that off. Okay. Right here. So we've got that. Oh, see, I really like that. I like that. Oops, this way, Linda. And I'm going to finish it off by putting some more right there. So let me figure out how much I need. And actually, I want this point. So I'm going to cut it right about there. Put it right there. Let me erase my pencil line though. All right. And now we can put on our Velcro. And it's really easy to do the Velcro. So I'll pull off the one I attached together, which is this one. And the reason I put them together before I stick them on is that way I can make sure that they're lined up correctly. Like I had that one a little off kilter. And then we are going to close this up. And I can see that I need it right about there. So I will put that down, and they're stuck together, so I still have the sticky side out. Close it up, and voila, there you are. So we have a beautiful panel here, a lovely panel here, and our designer series paper. If you wanted to, because remember, we can open this up, you could cut some Whisper White panels to put in here so that you could write on them if you wanted to do that. So you can use that inside space. But that, as I say, is that. Now we could, do we want to put some pretty pretties? I think we need some pretty pretties. Just real quick, I will pull out I think these are going to be perfect. These are the Noble Peacock rhinestones. So they have beautiful, deep, deep colors. And I think we can get away with this purple. It's a bit brighter, but you know, nothing says we can't have brightness in our lives. So I think we'll put one there. And I'm going to use a pink one too. I'm going to be drastic here because Blackberry Bliss and Rich Razzleberry have a lot of pink. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Yep, that one can go right there. And over here, do I really want to embellish here? I think we've got enough going on that we don't need to do that. So, but I will hit this with a little bit of, where is it? Wink of Stella. Since we got a nice, large colored area, we can have a little sparkle going on. All right, so there we go. And it will dry. I don't know if you can see the sheen in that. Let me pull it up a little bit, maybe. Maybe you can see a little bit of the sparkle going on. But I think that is the perfect finishing touch. So we'll put everything away and give you a look at both of them. I was going to say, where's my other one? Oh, right there. So you can see that you can get totally different looks for your Teepee card based on not only the colors you use, but also your stamp sets. Right? So go out and have fun making these Teepee cards. Okay, now we'll get to the part that I know everybody has been waiting for. Let's talk about the giveaway. As I mentioned a couple months ago, if I made it to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I was going to do a giveaway. And thanks to all of you, I have not only reached it, but I have surpassed it. So I want to do a giveaway. And I thought what might be nice is I have this beautiful basket weave embossing folder. And so how do you go about signing up for the giveaway and maybe getting this in the mail? Well, it's really simple. If you're on Facebook, just like the video and share it. If you're on YouTube, like the video, subscribe and share it. And then I'm going to be picking out, I think I'll pick out 2 winners. One of them will get the embossing folder and the other one will get something else. Now, as far as who can enter, because of some Stampin' Up! Rules, we're really only allowed to send things like embossing folders, stamp sets, or dies in the United States. And that's because each country has its own set of demonstrators. But if you are in Canada or Australia or anywhere else, please do enter, because just because I can't send you what are called these one-offs, things that you use over and over again, I certainly can send you some beautiful designer series paper. Maybe the Poppy designer series paper, or something that's becoming a fast favorite of mine is the paper that goes with, this is the best dressed paper that goes with the stamp set and dies. So I definitely can send out some designer series paper. So please, please, I'd love to reward 1 or 2 of you. Like the video, share it, and on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share. And we'll be doing the giveaway next Saturday night. So what a way to start the new year, yes? Okay, well, that's all I've got for tonight. And I know New Year's Eve is just in a couple of days. I hope you all enjoy yourselves. Welcome in 2020. Be safe and have a happy holiday. I'll see you again on Saturday night. Bye, y'all.